Ladies and gentlemen, alcoholism. They are noticing how it is exploding among older Americans. They are drinking so much, and they notice the increase in consumption started around the time of the lockdown. And it has been going through the roof ever since. And this is people that are 65 and older. So they are noticing, not only are they drinking a lot, many of them are ending up in the emergency room because they have drunk so much they have lost consciousness. And they are noticing also the alcohol is causing other problems, including a heart attack. So the doctors are finding that alcoholism is a major problem now among those that are older. So these folks will say they start their day off early having drinks. And it is a very common thing now for these elderly people to have 3 to 4 drinks daily. That's what they're finding. And it does not seem to be a big distinction between men and women right now. It doesn't seem to matter. So the hospitalizations are going up, and they're also noticing the ones that are living alone. Not only are they drinking a lot, they see many of the ones living alone developing dementia on top of that. So the officials are now saying this is a public health issue, and they are increasingly alarmed by the older Americans drinking. The annual number of alcohol related deaths from 2020 through 2021 exceeds 178,000, according to recently released data from the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. More deaths are from alcohol among elderly people than drug overdoses. An analysis by the National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism shows that people over 65 account for 38% of the alcoholics in America. So from 1999 to 2020, the 237% increase in alcohol among those over 55 years old. That is a big increase, 237%. Wow. And they said it was higher than even the group between the ages of 25 to 34. So the 25 to 34-year olds are drinking far less alcohol than the people over 55. Americans largely fail to recognize the hazards of alcohol, said this is the director of the institute. Alcohol is a social lubricant when used within the guidelines, but these folks apparently are not caring about what guidelines there are. And there's a growing number of older people accounting for much of the increased deaths. And they believe alcohol is a contributing factor to their deaths. An aging population foreshadows a continuing surge as the healthcare providers and elderly advocates worried even if older people's drinking behavior doesn't change. But it has been changing. Disproportionately, people over 65 who report using alcohol in the past year, about 56%. And the past month, 43% are lower than all other groups of adults. But older drinkers are markedly more likely to do it frequently on 20 or more days out of the month than younger people. Moreover, in 2018, meta analysis found that binge drinking, defined as four or more drinks on a single occasion, they found a lot of elderly women were doing that. Five or more drinks for the men. So the women are drinking at least four alcoholic beverages, and the men are drinking five or more. And this is among older people. And they said that percentage climbed 40% among older Americans over the past 10 to 15 years. So, what's going on? So, they are blaming partly a lot of this on the pandemic. The CDC reported that deaths attributed directly to alcohol use, emergency room visits associated with alcohol, and alcohol sales per capita all rose from 2019 to 2020. And a lot of stressors impacted us: isolation, the worries about getting sick. They pointed to people drinking more to cope with the stress. And researchers also cite a cohort effect compared to those before and after them. The boomers are a substance using generation. Wow. So they're seeing even a lot of drug addiction and alcohol addiction among the baby boomers. Mm-mm-mm. Wow. So they said many of them are not abandoning their youthful behavior even as they get older. The study shows a narrowing gender divide. Women have been the drivers of change in this age group. From 1997 to 2014, drinking rose an average of 0.7% a year for men over 60, while their binge drinking remained stable. Among older women, drinking climbed 1.6% annually, with binge drinking up 3.7%. So, stereotypes: upper middle class educated people have higher rates of drinking. In recent decades, women grew more educated. They entered workplaces while drinking. Yeah, y'all remember, I think it was like a year ago. It was a school teacher. I think it was like a third grade teacher, and she showed up on the first day of school drunk. And this woman was older. She was an older woman and came in the classroom drunk in front of third graders. They also had more disposable income. The women retiring now are more likely to drink than their mothers and grandmothers. Yet alcohol use packs a greater wallop of older people, especially for women who have become intoxicated more quickly than men because they're smaller and have fewer gut enzymes to metabolize alcohol. Seniors may argue that they are merely drinking the way they always have. Yeah, they're making that claim, but they said they are definitely seeing an increase by the amount of them that are ending up in the hospital because of their drinking. So, long associated with liver disease, alcohol exacerbates cardiovascular disease, renal disease. If you have any, if you have been drinking for years, there is an increase in certain kinds of cancers. Drinking contributes to falls and a major cause of injuries as people age and disrupt sleep. Older adults also take a lot of prescription drugs, and alcohol interact with a long list of them. The interactions can be common, especially with pain medications and sleep aids, sometimes causing oversedation. In other cases, alcohol can reduce the drug's effectiveness. Wow. Those medications are in your system all day long. So when you drink, there is still that interaction. So, y'all, this looked like it has gotten worse in the country. And they're definitely saying they see more alcoholism in these older people than they did more than a decade ago. And it's mostly these baby boomers out here. So, y'all, you're going to have to tell me what you think about this video. You know, I'm going to be honest. We had a few alcoholics in my family. Now, my grandfather on my mother's side was an alcoholic, but he's been dead for probably a good 50 years now. And his sister, she was also an alcoholic. So, unfortunately, he came from a family like that. And even his siblings were heavy drinkers. But y'all, please tell me what you think about this video. And if you are impacted by these elders in your family drinking, let me know in the comment section. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.